hate puppies.
Good podcast.
I feel threatened. Good God, that's not good. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House. Did that just make it your way, Troy?
Strong, Colby.
That
strong.
is strong to say. Did you guys getting that?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish we had smell-o-vision for
Doggy
this thing.
diarrhea farts.
Oh, that is really not how I wanted to start the show.
Yeah, he's sick.
But you gotta start the show on time so you can get this going. It's already bad enough. It's coming out a day late.
Day late.
Yeah,
$1 short.
it happens. It was a long week. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm sure there's dozens of you that were freaking out today at 11 o'clock. The rest of it, who knows when they download? It comes in throughout the week. But I know there's a handful of hardcores that are like, what happened?
Some P1s are probably upset.
Is everybody okay? Everybody but the dog, apparently.
Yeah.
Things just got rough up in here.
I see what you did there. Rough. Get it?
Yeah.
I didn't actually do that, but
You got dad jokes.
well done, Troy. I like that. Hope everybody had a good week. It's been an interesting one, to say the least.
Holy shit, Scott Bakula's on TV
Yeah.
from Quantum Leap.
Every time I see that dude, I immediately think of Quantum Leap. In
I
fact,
didn't even know he was alive. What fucking show is this? Where's Ziggy?
he's Ziggy. Dude, I used to go out of my way to watch Quantum
Me too.
Leap as a kid. It was like Knight Rider and Quantum Leap come
For
on
sure.
on the same day. Woo!
That was one of
Wasn't
those.
Ziggy? Was Ziggy the do with the?
Ziggy was the actual
Yeah.
whoever when you talked into the little handheld.
That was Ziggy
thing.
back at headquarters.
Yeah.
What was Homeboy's name that had the handheld?
Yeah. I forget.
I don't know. That was just the conduit to Ziggy.
Damn it! No.
That was
one of those-
That's the guy he would always talk to. He's like the most important character.
That was one of those shows that was in syndication, pretty early on. Because I remember being, as a kid, it was on reruns all the time.
On USA.
Yeah.
Quantum Leap.
No, now Ely's got to Google stuff.
Yeah.
Ely can't go through without knowing what that guy's name was.
I don't think of Quantum Leap when I see Scott Bakula.
What could you possibly think of?
One of the greatest films of all time.
I'm dying to know.
It was a show, Quantum Leap.
I know, but
He's got a movie.
he was in a movie.
Get it, motherfuckers. I was saying Quantum Leap's better.
I agree. What movie is so great?
Necessary Roughness.
Okay.
Good one.
Good movie, sure, but
Al. That was the guy's name, Al.
Al. Yep. That makes sense. All right. Well, we figured it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
That's right.
We'll be
It's a
talking to you
basic
next
ass
week.
fucking name. Thought it'd been something cooler
Why haven't
than
they?
that.
Why haven't they done a reboot of that?
It's a brilliant concept.
It's a great concept.
It is.
Better than just rehashing the same sitcom
Right.
that was marginal at best.
Why did you send the dog over here with its fucking shithole leaking all over the place?
You know he's-
Get that motherfucker out of here.
He's deaf. I can't tell him what to do. He chose to be over there.
Speaking of reboots, did you guys
Ocean's
watch,
8.
I
Ghostbusters.
did not
Reloaded?
see that one.
Okay.
Did y'all watch? Did y'all watch the reboot of Roseanne and now henceforth the newest one?
I saw 2 episodes of Roseanne.
We watched it and we enjoyed it, but we watched the first one, the Connors that just came on last
Man,
week.
people are not
What is
liking
that? Whoa. Hold on. Wait. Pause.
They-
I may be behind. They got
You
kicked
must-
off the fucking network, so they
Roseanne
went to a
got-
different network.
Roseanne, no, they're still on the same network.
They got rid of
booted
Roseanne.
Roseanne.
And you know how they did
Why
it?
would-
That was called the Connors
So fucking ridiculous.
because of her one tweet she said about some lady looking like a monkey or she was from Planet-
yeah.
So she got booted, and then everyone started feeling bad for the rest of the cast.
Like, oh, we're still really awesome. Let
Yeah.
us do this show.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, so you know how they killed her off?
They killed her off?
They killed her off.
Yeah, she had an opioid overdose. Is what they
That's
said.
awesome.
Yeah, so they figured let's tap into what's going on in American culture. Probably enough people can relate to that, but so that's what they did, which is funny
That's
because
fucking stupid.
she'd never so much as taken an opioid on the show.
Well,
No one ever knows, man.
No, the latest one
I
she
guess
was.
so. Good point.
She was taking painkillers.
Oh, she really was?
Yeah, in the latest reboot, and she had a knee surgery on the show, and they said she must have OD'd on it. But
Well, dang. So they did lay the groundwork early. At least they were tackling that issue.
It's just not the same show. Like,
what is the Tim Allen show? Do you know what that's called?
Yeah, Last Man Standing.
Yes. Did you see they confronted what happened on the show? Did you see? Oh,
I haven't
dude.
seen one episode of that show.
I haven't
hear
either,
it's good.
but I saw previews for it.
Uh-huh.
And it was the kid. It was like, this week on Last Man Standing, and the kid goes in there and he's like, my favorite show's not on anymore. And they're like, what do you mean it's not on? He's like, I'm on the same channel, but it's not on. And he's like, maybe they moved it to a different network. And he's like, why would somebody move the show to a different network? Yeah, right.
I like
totally
that.
breaking down the fourth wall. And then he's like, what did he say then? Tim Allen was like,
says some smart ass.
yeah, something about like, I like it much better on this network anyways. Yeah, shit like that, like full on, getting into the shit. Yeah.
I hear that's a good show.
Tim Allen's all right in my book.
How can he
across
not
the board.
be, dude?
I mean,
it's like Tim Allen. Mike Rose the same way. How can you not like those two dudes?
but Mike Rowe's a good person. Tim Allen's got a lot of demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't have demons? Can you find someone that doesn't have demons for me? And
I'm hoping it's Mike Rowe.
Rowe, yeah.
No, I don't know.
I hold that dude up. I think he's...
We live in this world where we feel like no one has demons. Like, hey, you suck because I can find this magic person that can do everything for us that is an angel.
I mean, I think I'm a pretty good soul, a good person. I got demons.
Everybody has them.
Like, I think everybody does.
I was talking about...
If you find someone who doesn't, kill him immediately.
Seriously,
that person,
legitimately.
Yeah, like that person's got the biggest demon of them all.
Yeah, or you don't want to hang out with them because they're straight up like you can't relate to them.
Well, I was talking to one of the coaches at baseball tonight. Somehow, some way, this dude hadn't heard of Dude Perfect. One of the kids is wearing a Dude Perfect shirt. He's like, is that a TV show? And me and the other coach.
Is that on the internet?
Yeah, we're
Interwebs?
like, dude, it's a huge show. They got a TV show. They're all over the internet. I'm like, they have their own channel. I was like, check it out. It's funny. They do sports stuff. It's hilarious.
Rage Monster comes out.
Yeah.
That shit's awesome.
And I was like, and they're good they're good guys. Like, they don't cuss. Like, on the show.
Right.
And then another coach was like, yeah, they're actually really Christian. They're this and that and this and making them out to be angels. And I'm like, and I've read articles about how they are like that. And I'm just thinking, something's going to come up one time where this dude, it's something really shady.
I just had my house painted this week, and we had these guys
Inside
painting
or outside?
Outside.
Okay.
And we had thanks, Troy.
Yeah.
So had my house painted this week, and these guys were so polite and so nice. Like, hey, sir, I wanted to show you something super helpful about things. Like,
well, they're in your
hey,
home.
man,
I feel like that's normal.
Yeah, they were so nice, but then they were like, boy, the sounds of your kids just really, it's music to my ears. Cherish these days, man. Cherish these days. And I'm like, wow, these
now
guys.
You're creepy.
I was like, you guys are
Stop
so
listening
nice.
to my girls.
That's right.
Yeah, but they were overly nice, right? And so for that whole first day, I'm like, God, they're too nice to be guys who work, blue collar guys,
Stereotypical.
And then I go in my bathroom and they're up on the roof, and then I finally got to hear them.
Yeah.
When I wasn't around, this guy's like, and then I said, "Bitch, man, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about." And this guy's going off about this woman. And
everyone is that way, dude.
And I was like, whew, okay, they can paint my house.
Yeah.
I was nervous though.
You guys, because if someone is like that all the time, there's something fucking weird about
and that's
them.
what I was saying. I was like, all right, now I
Ned
don't.
Flanders
They were
style.
so nice that I was like, I don't want the kids near them.
Yeah.
I don't I was starting to be creeped out by how nice they were.
Right.
Then to hear them start cursing up a storm and talking shit and everything, I was like, whew, okay, the kids can go outside.
That's right.
Go play,
Yeah.
kids. It's fine.
Go outside where the guys are cussing on the roof.
Right.
There is something to be said for that, though. If you're
is
too
weird.
nice, you're
Yeah.
hiding something, man. I don't trust it.
I agree.
For sure.
Ned Flanders probably a bad man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oakley
yeah.
Dokley.
He's got some runaways in his basement for sure.
You got to think so, man. So this past week, I got to go to that. That Chris Stapleton show that you guys were so amped up about.
Chris
Stapleton, yes.
I thought it was Rick the whole time.
Shows what you know.
I
Shows
know.
what you know.
Not much.
So it was everything that I hoped it would be. I will stand by the fact. I think that dude's carrying the torch for Outlaw
Nice.
Country. Officially one of the better shows.
I love how he has to have outlaw in every time
Yeah.
because he just doesn't want to say country music. It's
Well,
the
because-
hardcore stuff,
because country
I
music.
rode my
these
hog
days-
there.
Yeah.
There were a lot of those there, for sure.
You slid right in.
Everybody in a flannel shirt. That was the funniest thing. Like
Mad
as you looked
pointy
around,
boots.
there were definitely a lot of boots.
Yeah.
I did
That
see.
hadn't been worn all year until that night.
I saw some fresh ass boots.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But immediately when I got there, I realized these people are partying. Like that tailgate was ridiculous.
That's awesome.
And the one thing you forget about country folk,
I feel like every tailgate, every concert tailgate I've ever been to has been people hardcore throwing.
there's
throwing
different
down.
levels though. Actually, you're right. They're like the buffet.
Yeah.
Dudes are throwing down, but these guys, what I had forgotten was how good all the food would be because it's full of rednecks.
Oh, you mean the tailgate food?
Yeah, so good. So much good food. I mean, I felt so bad. I showed up. I had a big old can of Pringles and like some like a veggie tray.
Yeah.
And I walked up and there was like meatballs and wings and steak and everything grilling. I was like, I'll just put this over here. Like,
Yeah, put that
it-
back in the trunk. We cannot.
yeah, like act casual. There's real men around.
Look at this fucking hippie walking up in here.
I had
That's
my
veggie
wife.
tray.
You gonna bring a veggie tray?
Come on, you can't tell me the Pringles didn't go over.
You're in
well.
timeout.
One can of Pringles
Yeah.
at a tailgate.
The little mini can.
Yeah.
No,
Can I get 3 of those?
Have I vented on Pringles, by the way?
something about the can. I
Fucking
think.
Not being able to
Hey.
get your mitt down in
I
there.
can't get my mitt in there, so I gotta fish with these 2 digits and dump them down.
Yep.
Is it anyone else?
I think every grown-up has that issue.
Yeah,
I
we
do
all
have
have
some
it.
meat paws though, so if you got some fucking girly ass needle dick hands, you might be able to get your hands in
Why
there.
the fuck did you just point at me?
Who else would I point at in the room?
I don't know, but not me. My hands are perfectly normal in size. I don't have Trump fingers.
Yeah, they're real
It's a
soft.
perfectly normal hand.
God, that shit drives me nuts.
I wear a large and golf gloves.
Okay.
God. A medium large fits too, but I always buy the large.
Yeah.
Like I just can't bring myself to. I'm like, they both fit. I'll go large. Like you don't.
I
like
have
that.
small hands, but I just have thick ass hands.
Yeah.
So I can't get the goddamn meat hooks in there. I just want one chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
You spill crumbs. You turn it over, just dump crumbs all in your
Yeah.
lap.
you do like the top 5 chips the most because
Right.
you can grab them. Like look at me. Yeah. After
Yeah.
that, it's
And I
all
always
dumps.
pinch it. Get these 2 fingers and pinch a layer off the top. It's fucking not kosher.
They are tasty though.
They're very tasty.
They're the best.
Yeah.
That was my one saving grace. I was like, I do have Pringles, and people were like, all right. I mean, at least you brought.
Then
good
you
chips.
made a music video beating the Pringles on the truck bed and the tailgate. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, is that what you did?
So size for Stapleton.
Yeah.
Duke, 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 duke.
Exactly. Yeah. Someone's crickling the Doritos
think,
back.
I think Mike Rowe did the way I heard it on the prank guy who invented the Pringles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Little hands.
Exactly. I don't know what y'all's problem are. I can just get right in there.
Yeah. He's like, these Pringles are fantastic.
That reminds me of
I
the
can get all 5 fingers around it.
Burger King commercial with the guy's got, but I got these little hands trying to grab the burgers looking all huge.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But that show was good, man. That show
That's
was
like dating a chick with small hands. You want to do that, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Everything
Yeah.
looks bigger.
That's right.
Makes you feel pretty good.
Hold that pose. Let me get a pic.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but you could probably put 3-4 normal sized hands across the size of that thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
That is a long unit.
That shit's great.
So did he play all the hits? Play any covers? Do anything cool? Invite anybody cool out there?
So I got a confession to make. It was a great show. But I ran into a bit of a problem.
Again?
No, not thank God.
Glass.
No, thank God, none of that. No fights. Trust me, everybody there was having a good time. No one was looking to fight anybody. Thank goodness. It was interesting. I go to a Van Morrison show.
Yeah.
I get
Everybody
screamed
knows
at.
that.
You felt threatened.
Yeah.
I go to this show though, and I'm like amongst my element. Thank goodness. In fact, no one shut the hell up. It was beautiful. But early on in the show, I did the normal amount of tailgating, which I think everybody does before a show. So I don't think any problems were stemming from the early part of my show.
I always have trouble with the tailgating because I'm always like, I need to get one more in me before I go in there and pay $14. I need to get one more in me before I go in there. And then next thing I know, I'm walking in and I'm starting to get a little wobbly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had 3 or 4 too many.
And I was pacing myself. I kept making the comment, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Like, just take your time.
Sounding so cool in front of all those outlaws. Hey, guys,
Yeah.
Put the Budweiser down. It's a marathon, not a sprint, guys.
Right, exactly.
No, I definitely had some Fireball. and
Water's
some
in
moonshine.
between. Water's in between your beers.
Let's take a water break, fellas.
Hey, Snake, I see you haven't had any water lately. Have a pull off mine.
Who invited the Pringle kid?
Look, my hand goes right in. You want me to get one from the bottom for you?
I bet it does.
Eat up that veggie tray, guys.
Yes.
Don't let it go to waste.
This ranch will not be good when we get back out here.
You ever notice Pringle cans are like condoms? You can't even touch the side. It's fantastic. Just the right amount of girth.
Did you talk like Mickey Mouse the whole time?
The whole time.
Nice.
By default, everyone, hey, man, those
Yeah.
Pringles. Yeah, they are, sir.
That reminds me of Star-Lord when he's like, this is my ship. And they're like, are you making your voice deeper? And he's like, no.
I do remember that.
They meet Thor for the first time.
No, it's weird. There's nothing weird.
That's how I talk.
So it's all. But I felt fine going in. That place was completely sold out, though. Like, if you ever been to Jiffy Lube Live, old Nissan Pavilion, whatever,
That's up in
Northern
Nova,
Virginia,
right?
Yeah.
Same place you were at.
The other two times that I got accosted. So this was my third time hoping, in the last year.
I feel like we should get a petition going to call it Kentucky Jolly Live.
Okay,
Or
well,
drop
live.
the Jiffy.
Yeah.
Just Lube Live?
Lube Live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can just
feel like
start
you'd sell a lot
calling
more
it
tickets.
Lube Live. All right, you know what? I'm with you. So this is my third time at Lube Live in the last year.
Gotcha.
And the
That
other,
makes sense.
The other two had been problematic. So here I'm going to the crazy show. But I actually...
Having PTSD walking in.
Yeah.
Oh, man, this feels like the Van Morrison show in Farm Aid, man. Freaking out.
Hold me, honey.
Exactly.
One more beer.
Yeah.
Gotta get my confidence up. But I felt fine going in, but it was so crowded. Like, I hadn't seen it that sold out in a long time. So, like, when you got up to the lawn seats, all the way up the very top, there wasn't a space to put your stuff, like the whole way down. And so when it's like that, you're definitely thinking, I don't want to leave, but so often.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to find your crew. Because you're like,
Yeah, you can get
you're
turned
tucked in
around.
a sea of people, And
Those lawn crews, like if everybody's standing, it's kind of like a living, breathing organism. Like you kind of move around a little. You A few steps here, a few steps there. You can.
and you come back and things have changed.
Yeah.
you
Like
know?
the aisle has filled in. So you're like, where am I going here?
I was very fortunate. There was one really big person in a white cowboy hat who just didn't have much left in the tank. So they were kind of stationary. So I was like, if I turn right at the hammered, wasted, huge dude in the white cowboy hat,
Yeah.
and throughout the night, that actually worked. Like, that dude didn't move. I was like, whew, thank goodness.
He's part of the hardscape at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I went down, and I was getting my first round of beers. And if you haven't been to Lube Live, they sell the 25-ounce beers.
What?
They're massive cans. Something
Jeez.
about that 25-ounce beer, man. It's where it's at. And I went down to get my first, 2 fist of 25-ounce beers, and the guy handed me 2 beers, and he never cracked them. And if anybody who goes to a lot of shows
Knows. Yeah.
if you get handed an unopened beer, which is illegal.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah, it's illegal on his part. He's not allowed to do that. But if you get handed those, you now have gold.
I love
Oh,
how
yeah.
it's illegal. Like, what are you going to do with that? Like, honestly, like, what's the danger in that? Like,
Because this way you do have to come back, in theory, and they can put their eyes on you and see if you've been overserved.
but if I'm so confused, I don't see how that's true.
Because at least you have to come back after two beers, which at 25-ounce beers is,
So if you don't open them, you're not going to come back after 2 beers?
well, you might,
What
but
if you don't come back because you're hammered and sleeping in the chair?
Yeah.
these are all good points.
There's no valid point is what I'm
But
trying to
I
get.
Yeah,
recognized immediately that he had made an error. He had handed me 2 unopened 25-ounce beers. So as soon as he handed me those,
You knew you were rich.
You're like Officer Rod Farva, ABC.
I let him go. I turned around, walked away, put them immediately in my backpack, and got in another beer line because I was like, jackpot. I now am set. Like, I'm good to go. So then went and got 2 more beers, which is 4
now,
more beers.
I would have done that because I would have been half in the back as well, and that's a piss poor decision because now you have to drink 100 ounces of beer, or you have to drink 50 ounces of beer to drink another 50 warm ounces of beer. Like instead of going and getting cold beer, now you're going to have.
Fortunately,
warm
it
beer?
was freezing out, so
Okay, so-
that worked in my favor on this particular night. But yes, I mean that's it. When you get handed those unopened beers, if you know what you're doing, you've just beaten the system because now you have 4 beers in your backpack and you're going to get another 50 ounces of beer. So I went and got the other 50 ounces of beer, but ultimately what that did is set me on the wrong trajectory because now I knew that when last call was called, I still had
50 ounces of beer.
50 ounces of beer behind me. So I just went about my night knowing I still had these beers, but I think it
And
made
you knew
me
you had to drink them.
had to drink them because you can't
Can't
leave
take
with
them out, yeah.
So I went back to
I
my
guess
seat.
you could have, right? In your bag? They're not checking your bags on the way out.
God, where were you? Where were you? That is a really good point. I could have left with those beers. I didn't. In my mind, though, it was like, you now have to drink all
those
this
beers.
beer.
Yeah.
And they were selling bottles of wine, like for my
Entire
wife.
bottles of wine?
They'll just pour them in this like plastic like yards thing.
Oh, yeah.
They just pour that whole thing in there. So my wife's got a whole bottle of wine. I got
Holy
beers
shit.
everywhere. Going back to our spot, I was like, this is great. But that was really the beginning of the end for me
I can only imagine.
because everything kind of spiraled at
Yeah.
that point. In fact, I had like a conversation with myself at one point, like, you should really stop drinking and try to enjoy the show because you're missing it, dude. You're missing
Yeah.
it. So
How'd that go?
I paid attention for about 10 seconds. And then I was like, time to go back to drinking beer.
Got more beer in my backpack.
And then at one point, I'm not kidding, I turned around and my wife is gone.
Uh-oh. That's never a good sign for your wife.
When there's, 12 of us all in this little area, and then just one's missing, and it's the one that
Likes to frolic.
The wild card.
It's the
Yeah.
one you care about the most. You're like, son of a bitch. So I'm like looking for her. I call her, and she answers, and she's like, oh, I'm down here by VIP. And I'm like, what do you mean you're
What?
down there with VIP? Like, how does this even happen?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I'm down here. And she's like, you should come down here. And I'm like, why?
There's a concert going on.
I'm up here with
Yeah.
all of our people. I've got 4 beers at my disposal, 4 25-ounce beers right here. Like, I'm not going anywhere. And she just doesn't explain herself when she's hammered like that. She's like, okay, cool. Click. I'm like, damn it. And I'm calling her back. I'm like, come back up here. And she's like, no, you come here. And I'm like, damn it. But then I'm hearing it in her voice after we've had this conversation a few times. I'm like, I wonder if she's on to something, So
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I'm going to go find her. I go down. She's standing there. She's got a VIP bracelet in her hand waiting for me. She's got a VIP ticket. And she's like,
What?
you got to come down here. Puts it on my hand and she's like, hold this ticket. Follow me. I'm not kidding. She was 10 rows from the stage, dead center.
How'd that happen?
She had the 2 friends that we were staying at their house apparently knew some dude who worked there and was just handed bracelets and everything.
That's awesome.
So I went down there. I spent the second half of the show right up front.
Nice.
Amazingly close.
What friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch y'all outside later.
The poor folk on the lawn? Yeah, no
Yeah.
thanks.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not what I do, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
But so then I'm like, now I'm
I remember my first concert, you fucking losers.
Lawn.
Lawn.
there's grass up there, nerd.
This is Rick Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton.
He's the best of all the Stapleton brothers. Lawn seats. My ass. Broke the goddamn veggie tray.
Yeah. That's how you know I'm rich. There's
Yeah.
ranch. So
Is that the Pringle kid up front?
how in the hell? He don't let anyone in. I'm sure his little hands
yeah.
just slipped in that VIP bracelet.
That's right.
That's how he did. He slid it right off and slid it right back on.
Yeah.
Look what I found at the bottom of this Pringle can. So it was, but so now I'm down there and I'm over the moon excited. And I'm already realizing I'm a little drunk up at the top.
Where the beer flows like wine down in the VIP section.
And man, did it start. I started reaching in my bag. I was like, time to tap into the Rockies. And I'm just putting them down. And things got a little
a
cloudy.
little fuzzy.
Things got a little fuzzy at that point. And we went out, and when the show was all over, walking out, and of course, my wife's like, no, you got to go in the VIP. Like, come over here. This is amazing. She's like, just show him your bracelet. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Show them. Next thing I know, there's like liquor. I'm like, oh, I'm in like this VIP lounge. So then the drinks are flowing after the show. And finally, I'm like, we got to get the hell out of here. Like, we got to get an Uber. We got to find our friends. Like, I don't know where any of my stuff is. Like,
I gotta get my Pringles.
Apparently, we had
The second half of my veggie trays waiting for me.
That's right.
Apparently, we'd borrowed someone's blanket, and I just left
Dane
it up there on the
Cook,
lawn.
20 minutes.
It got wild. But so we went and got the Uber, which is the most difficult thing in the world at a venue like that.
Oh, really?
When it's
yeah,
that,
everybody's.
because you got 1,000 people who all go to the same area to order their Ubers.
Yeah.
And
And
there's
they're not all smart enough to like look at the license plate and the kind of car.
no, they're all fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Like, no, that one's mine.
Yeah.
Like,
tackling motherfuckers out
God
of the way.
forbid your name
Right.
is, Todd.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm looking for Todd. Yeah, that's right. That's me.
Yeah.
Todd.
I get it in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So we're down there, and I'm like trying to get a lift. I actually was doing the right thing, Troy. I was
Yeah,
trying.
you were.
I was trying to get a lift, and after like 30 minutes of trying, and we can't find any of our friends who we're supposed to be. We're staying at a friend's house down the way, and we're supposed to be going over there. I can't get a hold of any of them on the phone. And finally, I get a lift, and the guy calls me up, and he's like, I'm 20 minutes out. I'm like, perfect. I'll just stay right here. No worries. I hang up the phone. No sooner do I hang up the phone than I get a phone call from an Uber. And the guy's like, is this Brendan? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm your Uber driver. I'm here. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I haven't ordered an Uber. He's like, your name's Brendan, right? And you're at Lube Live? And I'm like, I am. And yes, I am. Like, all right, what car are you? And I look in my app, and sure enough, an Uber's been ordered. Now, my wife shares an Uber account with me. So I guess in her stupor, she succeeded in actually getting an Uber, which is extremely difficult to pull off.
Right.
So I'm like, bounced the Lyft guy. I was like, you're out of here. Let me get with this guy. This Uber pulls up, hop in, and we sit in traffic, like winding our way, like through the crowd. We pop out on the other side. Finally, I get a call.
Y'all didn't like walk to the far end of the place or anything?
I didn't know which way we were going to be going,
Yeah.
so I just kind of sat in the middle, like, you come get us. So it takes us, 10-some minutes just to get out. As soon as we get out, finally, the people that we're supposed to be with call us. And they're like, yeah, the lines were ridiculous, so we just walked to this bar. And they're like, but we need a ride. Like, can you come get us? And I'm like,
They need a ride home.
yeah, and we're staying at their house, so makes sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
gladly come get you. So then I'm like, what bar are you at? I throw it in. The bar is on the other side of the venue, like
Nice.
the other way. So I'm like talking to the Uber driver.
What bar?
I don't know the name of it.
Never heard of that place.
2 Silos?
Honestly, man,
Okay.
you're
Never mind.
talking to a dude who drank 50 ounces of beer on the way
Yeah.
out and then took a shot.
I got you.
But all I know is I tell the guy, hey, I need to go back the other way. I need to go pick up these people. And he's like, oh, okay. You're paying for it.
Right.
And I'm like, all right. So we turn around and sit all the way back through the traffic, all the way past the Uber line and back out the other side.
Thank God we got out of that traffic. Hey, can you turn around?
I'm here for the traffic ride.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm here for the
I got a
light
fast
show.
pass.
Yeah.
I just love watching drunk people.
Yeah.
So we go all the way back out, get to this bar, and we get there. I'm like, all right, guys, where are you? And they're like, we're inside partying. We're here. And I'm like, I can't party anymore. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you guys said you needed a ride. I just spun this Uber ride around, sat back through traffic again. Like, you guys got to come out. They're like, nah, we're partying. We just got drinks. And I'm like, all right, we're going to head back. We're gonna head back to your house.
Check you later.
And they're like, all right, cool. We'll be there in a minute. They're like, just call us when you get there because I guess there's like a gate. And you can't get through the gate. And I'm like, all right, no problem. So we go riding along, and I'm chatting up this Uber driver. And then, like, I just had that moment of clarity, and I look up, and I'm like, this is not where I should be right now. Like, the Uber ride here was $10. These people live right around the corner from
Yeah.
here. And I'm like, hey, man, where exactly are you going right now? And he's like, Springfield. And I'm like, no, that is not good. I was like, what are you talking about? My wife
I'd done her parents' house.
had Ubered and just hit the button, and it was going off to her parents' house,
Oh.
which is like
Right next door to where you were going?
45 minutes away from the venue with no traffic.
Yeah.
You know, like, So I'm like, oh, buddy, I'm sorry, but we're going the wrong direction. So I had to have this dude get off the highway, pull a Yui, and go
He
back.
fucking hates you.
Hates me.
Yes.
And I'm like, I am so sorry, dude. I was like, we'll get this taken care of. So then we drive all the way damn back. Then
where were you when you realized this?
I don't know. Probably headed out towards like Fair Lakes, Fair Oaks area, and I'm like, I'm headed in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Like this isn't right.
Halfway.
Yeah. So I'm like, turn it around. We're going back. Go all the way back out to their house. Now it's late at night. It's freezing cold, and we get to the gate.
And he drops you, and you can't get through.
I can't get through the damn gate.
And he's
they're
already
like,
gone.
So we're like calling like the house. No one's answering. I'm calling someone else who has the same last name. This guy's like, I don't know you. And I'm like, but if you could do me a solid and just open the gate. And he's like, I'm not opening the gate.
Really?
I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. Just open the gate. Like, I'm staying at someone with the same last name as you. It's right up here. I'm telling him the address. He's like, nope, click. I was like, damn it. I guess that's what I get for calling him at midnight.
Right.
You know? So,
in fairness, I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
so I'm not mad at the guy.
Yeah,
I was
exact
hoping
same
for a
thing.
miracle, you know?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, all right.
You threw out a
Oh,
Hail
you
Mary.
know what? Smith?
Yeah.
You staying with Smith? Come on in, bro.
Yeah. That is not how it went down. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not letting this dude come in here and massacre my family.
Right.
Like, screw him. So I got dumped there like 2 miles from their door in the freezing cold. And just
Hold on. What kind of gate is it that you can't get around that then you have a 2-mile trek inside of the said gate? I'm not a Nova
it's
guy,
a
so I don't know.
massive community. Like
But there-
multiple golf courses in this community. Like
So there's a
huge.
fence
What
around
community?
I'll get you the answer.
There's a fence around the entire perimeter.
Just-
like I
just
get like
the
a
road
car
end.
gate, but like so you can't walk around the car gate.
Oh, I could walk around. I couldn't get a car around. So I just walked.
okay,
It's
okay.
just the bar.
Oh, so you were trying to
so
get
you're
the,
trying to get the
the
Uber
car
now,
gate open.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can
I
drop-
could get in. I was like,
Why don't you just say pound sand? I'll walk.
that's what I did. I said, dude, just close me out right here,
Yeah.
and I'll walk. Threw the dude a $20 tip. So I was like, sorry.
That's it?
Nah.
Fucking cheapskate.
Yep. You
You-
no tipping.
What have
son
we
of a
got
bitch.
here? A fucking comedian.
So we walked
Always not
for
tipping
what
people.
felt like an hour through the freezing cold, you know?
Really?
And we get to the house, and I'm like, all right. You know, they
It was
said
2
they,
miles. It probably
they-
was an hour.
They said they left the door around back unlocked.
Yeah.
And so, like, we pull up, and they open the door. They're like, hey, what are you guys doing here?
Why are you walking?
They go, we thought you were asleep. We came home. We saw the door was shut to your room. We just assumed you guys were asleep. I'm like, I've been calling your house. You must have driven right past us if you didn't. Like, how in the hell? They're like, oh, I guess he passed out. And it goes to his phone. And I'm just like, oh, my God.
That's hilarious.
Like, this is killing me.
Yeah.
I got my Uber bill from that thing. It was $140.
Dagger.
Like, that was a kick in the pants. $140.
Are you
to-
part owner of that dude's car now?
Yeah.
I think so. And then I started thinking, I was like, well, you know, he's probably not that pissed.
No.
Because he just made,
Oh, yeah.
he made a mint. So, yeah, I took a $140 Uber ride home and then froze my balls off to walk the last 2 miles. That was quite the nightcap to the Stapleton show.
I mean, you're gonna pay a premium to go see Kurt Stapleton. That's
Yeah.
for damn sure.
it is Chris Stapleton.
Sure, if you say so.
I can't get the Stapleton straight.
Yeah,
There's
there's
too
so many of them.
That's not accurate. There is one Stapleton, and it's Chris.
Kurt, Rick,
Yeah,
Jason.
Scott. That's just off the top of my head.
I think Philippe's a distant
Yeah.
cousin.
Philippe Stapleton. I did forget. He was in Menudo as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. It was a good
Solid.
show, but
Sound like cost you a fortune.
in the end, it cost me a fortune.
Nice.
All concerts do.
It was bad. And then had to get up, 5 hours later to get back home.
Ugh.
Yeah, I had a buddy hit me up this week and was like, you want to go see the Redskins game versus Dallas this weekend? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I used to get all pumped
Oh, yeah.
and excited for it, but it's like 3 hours up.
Yeah.
You
You're
get
like
half hammered and you drive home with a headache afterwards, and it's just miserable.
you're like, how much are you gonna pay me to go to this game again?
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. What's the going rate?
Yeah.
Yeah, how much are you going to pay me to take those tickets off?
Yeah.
You're like, I can hang out and watch it with my friends on a fucking 60-inch and not have to fucking worry about all
Right.
that bullshit. I mean,
And
it's fun to do once every few years just to remind yourself how much it sucks. But, I mean, every Redskins game I've ever gone to, I've been disappointed once I get inside that thing. When I'm sitting in the seats, I end up going out to Hooters to a bar on club level, sitting in the leather chairs and watching the shit on TV.
Yep.
Because
That is the best.
Because
Yeah.
FedEx Field is dope in certain spots, but I swear to God, you get inside that stadium, and you are literally crushed up next to strangers you could give two shits about, and it's
yeah.
just not a fun experience.
You hear they're subtly removing chairs out of there?
Yeah, they've been doing that for years.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What happens if you have season tickets, or do they?
No, all
No,
the
no,
all
like
the top
the ones they can't sell.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
I thought they were sold out like
No.
forever.
That's
Not
an
at
old
all.
rumor.
That there's no more waiting list. That used to be the way it was. It's
yeah,
gone.
that's how I remember it.
No, no more.
So they're pulling chairs out of that place,
Yes.
so they can say we're sold out again.
Yeah.
Well, it was like the largest stadium at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Like it sat like over 100,000 people. It was like the largest NFL stadium by a lot, and they just
Yeah.
can't sell tickets.
I think
anymore.
all of them are dying like that, though.
That's crazy, man. I'm telling you, that whole VR thing is going to be game changing. Like
Yeah.
the fact that we could, in theory, put on headsets and sit here and be at the 50-yard line, 10 rows up, is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And it's legitimately like you're right there.
I've always liked the tailgating aspect of any live event more than the
Yeah,
actual
true.
live event anyway. Like, to me, watching all this stuff on the flat screen is even better because you see all the replays. You know all the nuances. You know,
Yep.
oh, so-and-so's hurt. Like, of course, your smartphone can tell you all that too, but you just know it instantly, on the TVs now. I just think it's a better product.
Yeah, I do want to take my son. That's the big thing that I want to do. Like, I don't
So he
have a-
understands why you stay at home. Then that would
No,
be.
no,
He'll
no.
be like, Dad, we should stay home. It's freezing here.
No. Not
It's
at all.
fun. It's
It'll happen.
definitely fun to go take the kids to because they,
For sure.
they're like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But then you got the drunk fucking cussing in his ear the whole time, and
Yeah, he's okay with that.
I was about to say he probably hears that at home.
Mm,
When you watch sports, you get fired up.
no,
You don't think you get fired up?
no,
You don't scream?
not really. I mean, I've seen people that get fired up about sports, and I'm not even anywhere near them. I mean, I'll
definitely
probably do maybe if someone's losing really bad and playing like an asshole. I'm good for a handful of screams, but it's no like,
get every play like.
but it's
some-
no like deep cuss words. It's more like
no
of
fling
course you
stuff.
did that. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's not.
I guess that's true. That's about what I hear you yell. But I
Yeah.
do hear you scream like, "This dude stinks."
That's
like, kind of
right,
stuff.
yeah.
So I guess that is better than.
Ray Finkel.
That's classic.
I definitely just run around a lot.
Yeah.
As I just exert energy more so than.
Dude, last week, I saw you last week acting like I'd never seen you act in a while. You were pacing this floor. Like,
It was a tight game.
yeah,
They're
Worked
not
out well
often-
though.
No, it didn't.
Oh.
No, I lost.
That's right.
for the
Kicker.
other guys.
Finkel.
Ray
Oh, that was
Finkel.
laces out.
Yeah, no, that was piss poor. Things were no good.
He'll be
Yeah.
home anytime now.
You- Ray ain't coming home.
The light's on.
You guys kill me.
Yeah.
We should have that on a loop every Sunday.
We should, for sure. You got the stupid ass fight song. You need to put some
Yeah.
some Ace Ventura clips on that.
I do.
Soundboard.
I do need to get that
Yeah.
my Sunday soundboard game up.
You need
That's for sure.
the major league one. Just a bit outside.
Yeah. Exactly.
I got that one. I love that one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to play that last week when the Bears lost. I got
Yeah.
to- if you play it for someone else's team, you got to be willing to play it for your own.
For sure.
These kickers are having all sorts of outcomes this year on games, good and bad. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's piss poor, man. I tell you, the thing we didn't get to talk about last week that I found pretty awesome. I don't know how many people out there are familiar with Banksy, but
I do like this story.
For
Be
people
interested
who-
to hear your take.
for people who aren't in the know on who Banksy is, I mean, he's a graffiti artist who's essentially risen to the
The
ranks of
UK. He's British.
Yeah, he's a British graffiti artist who's been going around, tagging things
Top
for a
of the
long
morning,
time,
Governor.
and no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
And there was a
Which is crazy in today's world. Someone hadn't figured that out.
there's a lot of theories, but no one really knows who he is, and he was always kind of this undercover graffiti artist. But his thing was always doing like stencil art in specific locations, and all of his art really has some pretty interesting connotations and
It's kind of political and
definitely
and
political in a lot of respects. And
but what he does is he reproduces a lot of his graffiti into
Prints.
paintings and prints that they sell.
And he does weird shit. Like one time, he had all these original Banksys. He actually came over to New York, and he set a dude up on the street corner with original Banksys.
Yeah.
And everyone thought they were reproductions. And this guy sat out there all day selling $15 original Banksys. These things are worth
Millions.
$1 million.
Yeah.
And this guy's
I
just
saw that
selling them
video.
for
That was crazy.
$15. And people are like, nah, I'm not interested. And the guy wasn't like actively
No, he
trying to
wasn't-
sell.
Yeah,
Like,
he wasn't like telling them anything. He wasn't hard selling them or anything. They
Yeah.
were just
He
like-
was just like, yeah, if you want it, check it out. And his art has been worth, ridiculous amounts of money. And his stuff is on reproductions of pillows and you can buy their stuff everywhere. I think he's fantastic.
All right, so see, maybe I missed, or I guess you want to tell the story about what happened now, and I have a question about kind of him and how he does his thing.
So for years, he's just done this, and then people find out, oh my God, there's a Banksy here. And then basically the community will protect that piece of graffiti as best they can because the neighborhood can actually set up, sell waters and things like that. And you kind of get this little economy that pops up around some of these Banksys. And then the other street artists, they try to ruin them. So it's only a matter of time before some no-name comes in and gets to tag over the Banksy, and then it's gone for the world to see. And it's some of the things he's done, I think a lot of people have seen. I mean, if you like the panda with 2 guns in its hand, or the maid sweeping stuff under like a rug on the wall. I mean, he does a lot of cool stuff. And one of them is Girl with a Balloon. That's been a pretty popular one. It's just a girl releasing a balloon with a heart, and people love this particular work of art. And years ago, I guess it was back in 2006, he gifted this painting to somebody, just gave it to him. And he knew all along that eventually the greed would have to get to you, right?
Yeah.
Where you'd go, I can sell this fucking thing for
It's
a
not always
tremendous-
great. It's just a lot of these art collectors look at these things as investments too. I mean, they're trying to make money.
But this one was gifted, and it was gifted in a frame, personally.
Oh, I didn't know it was gifted.
It was gifted. So in 2006, this particular picture was put in a frame, and it was given to somebody. And it sat in their house for, 12 years? It's just been sitting there. And finally, this person decided to put it up for auction at, how do you say that, Sotheby's?
Yeah.
Sotheby's. And he put it up for auction at Sotheby's, and the thing ran up to 1.1.
1.4, I think, is what it sold, right?
It was 800 some pounds.
Yeah.
So whatever that translates to, it's over $1 million,
Is that Monopoly money or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
essentially.
Lots of greens.
So thanks to Brexit, it kind of is monopoly money right now, but that's a whole nother conversation. But so this thing goes up to auction at Sotheby's, and when the gavel comes down, somebody hit a remote, and there was a shredder built into the actual frame itself, and the painting just started coming down and shredding. And it only shredded about halfway.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because Banksy released a video today, actually, that showed him testing it back in 2006. And it's supposed to shred all the way through. In fact, he had a new name for the artwork, so it wasn't going to be Girl with Balloon. It was going to be something like, Shred to the Trash or something. It's like some new name.
Yeah.
But it was the whole
Master
point.
Shredder.
It was the whole point of it from the beginning he knew that eventually it would end up here.
So it's supposed to go all the way through?
So I thought it was it not in a studio? Like someone brought it in to sell it, or was it in a studio?
Someone brought it in to sell it.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
And it had been in that frame from the time it was gifted in 12.
See, that makes more sense.
I have some questions about it.
There's a lot
I
of
do
questions,
too.
and I probably don't have all the answers, but I've been reading about it for a week, so
I feel like
what I
I feel
know.
like it was fixed because one, there's no battery out there that's going to last 12 years.
Well, it didn't.
And two,
the way it shredded, if you've seen the video, it shreds perfectly halfway down and then stops. So to me, it's like it's still a piece of art, and it still has value. In fact, it's probably the
more
most
expensive.
It's
now,
the most
for sure.
expensive Banksy out there.
Yes, hands down.
And you can still hang it the way it's.
I bet you it
the way
sells
it's
for
sitting.
$5 million right
Yeah.
now.
And it was supposed to shred all the way. Like Banksy released a video. It's called the Director's Cut, and you can see that he showed it working back in 2006, and it shreds the whole thing. And like he did a couple trial runs, and he's like, "All right, it worked." So I question if the battery just died, like if that battery didn't have the staying power that it required.
Most
over all
batteries
that time.
don't last that long.
They don't, and maybe that's why I did it, or
Motherfucker
maybe
went with a copper top.
That's right.
Yep.
I should have known.
No pink bunny.
The
That's
bunny
right.
would have done it. Stupid.
Keeps going.
But you're
I
right.
still- I
It
still
did
think-
go up in value.
I still
Yes.
think if it's shredded all the way through, it still have value.
Absolutely.
It's worth even more though that it's
Yeah.
halfway. Like it being halfway makes it worth a ton of money.
Yeah.
All the way through is like cool.
Either way, I think it's worth.
Yeah, but still, I got this pile of shit versus like you have the whole thing.
Well,
Halfway
you saw how
shredded,
it's
it's worth
shredded.
more money.
You saw how
I
it's
agree with
shredded,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Like it didn't do the cross cut. Like it wasn't in little piles. It just had like
Strips.
5 lines in
Yeah.
it or something. Like you could have easily reframed it.
Yeah. Duct taped it.
Yeah, definitely.
But in
Yeah.
my mind, it's
Gorilla glue.
typical Banksy, man. Like he's always snubbed his nose at the whole art scene. That was what his original goal was from the beginning.
Is he making money off all this?
On some level, he does, because now he has like all the reprints are officially like Banksy's, and they go through his foundation. They just don't know who the money goes to.
Somebody does.
There's people.
Yeah.
There's an inner circle that does. There's a lot of people who think he's from the band Blur. They think
Really?
he's
Really?
one of the artists from Blur. Like that's one of the going theories, because there are people who know him. Obviously,
I saw a headline or something about that. They were like running. Some sleuth was all over it, and they're like triangulating this and that, and they think they had a guess on who it was, and maybe it was the Blur guy.
yeah. I mean, I think they came up with that theory, but no one's been able to, prove it. And he's done things like he went to New York.
And once you find out who it is, all his shit's gonna drop to nothing. It's gonna be like, oh, it's fucking Carl. Fucking really?
Exactly.
All right, I ain't paying you
Yeah.
shit, dude.
the dude with the Pringle hands,
Yeah,
dude's
Right.
the worst.
I know you were good with a rattle can, man.
yeah.
He did one installation where for 30 days he went into New York. And for 30 days he went all over and put different things. And every morning someone would wake up and be like, oh my God, like here it is. Or like he'd drive a truck around with animals in it. And it was like a Banksy thing. Like all these, he just did all these weird different art installations. Like I find the guy fascinating. And I thought him pulling this was like the ultimate fuck you, but it backfired. I mean, it ended up being worth more money.
Oh, yeah.
So he made...
I think he knows that,
I guess he probably did know that, but
and it gets him publicity as well.
yeah, there's a
Publicity.
there's a
What'd I say?
documentary
I got you.
on him. It's called like Exit Through the Gift Shop,
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Is that
Yeah.
it? Okay?
and that's I think you can get that on Netflix right now. But I've always thought his shit was awesome. It's funny because my mom is like a docent at the National Gallery of Art. Like she's like
Oh, really?
so hardcore about like old school art. She knows everything about art. And for years I was like, I like Banksy, and my mom would be like, oh, like so disappointed. Like she would have been happier
Was
to
it your
find out.
dad
that,
telling us? Does your dad have a bunch of art?
well, my mom has a bunch
Or
of
your
art.
mom?
But she never really embraced it. She was like, this guy's just a street artist, and what he's doing is creating like more street artists, and this isn't art. And now she's finally come around. She's like, actually, he's pretty good. Like she's starting to understand and come around on it. And when this happened, she called me up. I found out from her.
If abstract is art, anything is art.
Seriously,
And I think this guy embraces that.
Yeah.
that guy's more art than a lot of artists. That's for damn
for sure.
But at least he has like kind of a purpose behind
Yeah.
him on some level.
I don't
And
even
skill.
care about that. To me, like
He has
what-
skill.
Skill, yeah. He's creative. Other people aren't doing what he
Yes,
does. The
yeah.
next person who shreds a piece of art is a copycat.
Yeah.
At least he's thinking and doing things that no one else has done.
Yeah.
And he's doing art that's not permanent in a lot of respects. And I think that was part of what he was trying to show. Like, even if you get my art in a frame, it's not permanent. Fuck you. You just spent $1 million and I destroyed it right in your face.
But
He should put a map to One-Eyed Willie's treasure on his next one. I feel like that makes tons of sense, right?
yeah,
It would be, he'd have to know where it was, but I feel like Banksy knows.
It's Banksy, dude.
yeah. he
you
probably
do
knows.
have to think though, like with his street graffiti art, like that's still like that's breaking the law. You're vandalizing somebody's property.
That's what always made him different, was he would break the law to make his art. And so he was always a rebel. He just started becoming really popular, like really popular, to the point now that his shit's selling in galleries.
We were riding down the road the other day, right down, 195, and the train was going down there, and one of my boys was like, why does all the train cars have all that painting all over it? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, dude. I mean,
Yeah, Spanksy.
it's
Spanksy.
sat still too long, I guess.
Exactly.
Crazy.
That's right. But he legitimized that art form. But now there's copycats out there who try to do similar things, but they're all copycats.
Who knows? How would you know?
I'll give you that. How would you know?
Because, I mean, a lot, like you said, a lot of his stuff's just basic stencil, black and white type stuff. Like,
Yeah. It's easily identifiable, but now people copy the look.
there are people out there that can fake a Monet. Why can't they fake a fucking...
That's the downside of him not knowing who he is, because he can't be like, I didn't do that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true, because people are like, hey, it's a Banksy, and it
No
may
one's
not
there
be
to
a
say
Banksy.
That's
no.
what the fake Banksy would say.
Exactly. You told me you would say that. In your letter.
Yeah.
It is
the
a
future.
Banksy.
You were the
Genius.
guy, right?
I thought it was pretty awesome, though. It was good to see
That is pretty cool.
thumb the nose.
It's
at the
crazy.
system.
Here, you know what's funny? I had a ton of questions and was getting ready to jump down your throat about Banksy, and you already answered them in the story. Isn't that crazy?
Did I?
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's
All right.
nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Then I'm,
It is.
I'm
It's
telling
unlike
the
Brendan.
right story.
You are.
It's unlike
'Cause I was getting ready to be like, this is horse shit. This is why. This is the problem. But then it all makes sense now.
Look at you.
If I told it last week, I probably wouldn't have had all the details, but it took a whole week for me
Yeah.
to figure out more about it, because last week we recorded, I think, the day that it happened.
Yeah.
And somehow it escaped us.
Right.
It's so weird that we would miss a topic. It's
Well,
right
it's
on
weird
the board.
because
I
we're
know.
well, and we're Richmond's #1 premier art podcast. I mean,
No, apparently we're a sports podcast.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, how does that come about?
I still
The
don't
one
know.
subject we talk the least about.
Intentionally talk
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
least about. I could talk sports all day.
Yeah.
We probably would have never.
Sports.
A lot of people do talk sports on podcasts.
all
Not us.
day long. It's frustrating.
But I'll take the award.
I will. I'll take the accolades.
For sure.
Yep. If you guys want to hear sports, according to Richmond.com, we're the place to come to hear about it.
Thank you, Richmond.com.
And I'm assuming by sports they mean Banksy's, and we started the show talking about my dog farting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of
Art.
Maybe they meant jorts.
the little Pringles hands, bad Uber rides.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the stuff people want to hear about. Sports. It kills me. So we got our first beer from that Beer of the Month Club.
Ooh,
we can
that's
try.
right.
Yes. I'm excited about this.
What is it?
I started with a cherry-picked potential deli winner.
Okay. I like
What
your
is
style.
the Ellicottville Brewing Company?
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. I don't know.
Blood Orange Hefeweizen.
Ooh.
Winner.
4.6% weed ale brewed with natural blood oranges. Not just regular oranges. Blood oranges.
Yep. This is me
Yeah.
just trying to start this on a high note.
This is teed up for Mr.
Bludges.
Haley.
Bludges.
Bludges.
Yeah. Blood oranges come from the Congo, like blood diamonds.
Yeah.
I
you
hope
don't-
so.
It's going to taste amazing.
You don't know how many people died to get this orange
Right.
down off the mountain.
Exactly.
Thank you. I'm excited to try this.
I wonder where this
Doesn't
place is from.
smell like anything great.
Oh, it's from New York. New York City.
Get a rope.
Uh-oh. But I don't.
Bottle.
Interesting. I can tell you now, after one sip in, I think we got a fighting chance. It doesn't have much of that blood orange.
More Hefeweizen.
It does.
than
It's
blood
got a little
orange?
bit more of a, like a soury flavor in the front.
Okay, so Ellicottville is in New York. You just said that, but I assumed Ellicott was Maryland.
Yeah.
It shows my limited knowledge of
Why'd you
geography.
think Maryland?
Ellicott City.
Yeah,
Oh.
Ellicott City. I just figured Ellicottville.
Never said Ellicott in my life, though.
No.
I don't know why. You're probably right.
I don't
I
know.
always assumed it was Ellicott.
I like that for the first time ever. Ely's like, I assume your pronunciation is probably spot on.
It probably is Ellicott.
No, I didn't say
No,
that. I didn't. I consciously made an effort to not tell you were wrong.
I appreciate it, but now that I read it,
Thanks.
it probably is Ellicott. Ellicott.
Yeah. Call us in and let us know, Ellicott people.
I know they're out there.
Yeah.
They gotta be. We
I
get,
think we had 15 downloads from Ellicott City last year.
Yeah.
actually we do get downloads from New York. It seems to be a
I meant Maryland.
hotbed. Oh, Maryland, we get far more than New York. We're
And
definitely
China, too.
strangely. It's definitely
weird.
commies just
It
tuning
is.
in.
It's weird.
Yeah,
the names
spies.
of places are weird like that. You know, like I've been listening to Serial.
Winchesterton, Fieldville.
Yeah. I was listening to Serial, the newest. And
I'm like 2 in.
so you know they're all recording
Yeah.
in Cleveland.
I haven't checked that one out yet. That's the one where they go into the prison system?
Yeah,
And the court.
Court
Okay,
system.
the court system.
I love how Cleveland's like, sure, want to
Yeah,
record,
come on
whatever.
Listen to all this.
Yeah,
shit.
what are you
Yeah.
gonna? You think less of us?
Exactly.
It's fine.
So the one I just listened to, like, so right next to it's not Cleveland, is it? It's no, it is Cleveland.
It is Cleveland.
So right next to Cleveland is a city called East Cleveland,
Brilliant.
Crazy.
but it's not East Cleveland like you would think. East side of Cleveland, it's a whole nother city with a whole nother police force and everything. So it's just confusing as shit, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
where do you live? East Cleveland, like east side of Cleveland, or the East Cleveland?
I said East Cleveland,
Yeah.
man. East side of Cleveland.
Come on.
Fucking.
It's like when they name roads and
That's where Bone Thugs was from.
Duh.
Yeah.
It's like when they name roads in a neighborhood and they all have the same name. Like, turn on the Maple Street and then go turn left on Maple Drive and then take a
yeah.
right on Maple
Court.
Court. It's like,
That's the worst
it's
part of
confusing
Atlanta.
as shit.
It is.
Everything in Atlanta
Oh
is
yeah, Peachtree.
something.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I'm over here on Peachtree. They're like, oh, you're in the wrong part of town. Be like, you're on Peachtree.
Yeah. Well, I said meet me at Peachtree. Yeah, but you're over at Peachtree.
That is the most confusing.
Is it
town.
Peech?
Oh, there's a space there.
Oh, you mean Midtown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the hyphen one?
That shit is so
it's
cop.
hashtag Peachtree Road.
Right.
I got you
Okay.
now.
I'm right around the corner from you.
Oh, I see you now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're at the corner of Peach and Tree.
Right.
All right, what
We
do you,
get it. You have fucking
You know,
peaches.
they took down the giant peach.
They did?
Yeah.
why?
I don't know, but I remember driving to Disney and not seeing it.
That's not even in Georgia. And it's not on 95.
Was it South Carolina?
Yeah, it's in South Carolina. It's on 85. So that's probably why you didn't see it going to Disney.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then it's still there.
You know they. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
guys like that?
It's,
It is- it's very-
it was constructed really well. It's still up there.
It's confusing, though, because it is in South Carolina. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. You assume it would be next to Atlanta.
Is it
It's
right
not.
as you're going into?
No, it's in South Carolina, like, well before Georgia.
Huh.
Because my dad lived in Anderson, which was 20 miles north of the Georgia line, and I would see it driving. It's like somewhere around Gainesville, I think, maybe.
Right.
Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
It's getting more confusing.
Greenville, maybe. Greenville. Yeah, not Gainesville, Greenville.
Yeah.
Troy, what do you
But
think?
anyway, what about this beer? This is teed up for me. I mean, I like Hefeweizens too, and I like citrus, and I really like orange in the citrus family. So this is a damn fine beer. I would easily give this a 4. I like everything about this.
Damn, look at that. All right. Teed it up easy.
Yeah.
For me, I don't think there's very much blood orange. I definitely
But
taste
if someone handed you a cup of blood orange, would you know what it was going to taste like before you had it?
the only reference point I have for blood orange is those like Pellegrino blood orange sodas.
Yeah.
I love those things. So that's what I think blood orange should taste like. So I'm probably not a real good judge of like accurate blood orange flavoring.
I don't know what it's orange. I mean, I can taste the orange in it. I
There's
don't know what
something.
I don't know what the difference between
I taste
orange and blood
a lot of
orange.
that Hefeweizen bite, that peppery bite.
Uh-huh.
So I certainly will give it that. It's more of your traditional style Hefeweizen than your American style Hefeweizen, which leads me to believe that Ely's going to like it. I think the orange in this instance, whatever they've done there, I think it almost takes away from it. Not a horrible knock. I don't think it's bad. I think I'd give it a 3. Like, I think it's good. I just don't think it's amazing. 3.
3, he says.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I mean, and you probably could have guessed that.
Yeah.
It's a light Hefeweizen, which is even better.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really like it. I'd probably give it at least a 4. I'm contemplating a 4.5.
Oh,
I
we
think
got
what
one.
we've had that would be better as far as
We had a Hefeweizen once when the As Told Over brunch crew was in that I think you were like head over. I can't remember which one it was.
I'd give that a 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
That may be the highest ranking Hefeweizen to date then. Damn.
Highest ranking cerveza.
Ellicott Cityville is coming through. The Ellicottville, if you're ever in New York and looking for a Hefeweizen that gets a 3, a 3.5, and a 4.5,
Yeah.
this would be the one. We're
Yeah,
gonna have
because
to.
we can't even tell you where to go buy this because it's beer of the month stuff.
That is the only problem with this Beer of the Month Club is we're going to be drinking beers. They're going to be very difficult for our listeners to find just because of how regional we are.
I mean, you never know, I guess, at a Total Wine or something.
I mean, hey, they made it into the Beer of the Month Club. I like that it's 4.6.
Yeah.
You know, there is nothing wrong with that beer.
I think that's what notched it up to 4.5.
Would you give it a 4.6? See what I did there?
Yeah, I did. But no.
Just 4.5.
Yeah.
Let's not get crazy.
Right.
that 1/10 of a point. That's a big jump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A big jump. Well, there
Part
you go.
of it's just because I don't know what a 5 is. Right? Does anybody know what a 5 is?
Yeah, I don't know I don't have a 5. Like, I don't know what I would give a 5 to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to be like, nope, that's the beer I would drink for the rest of my life because that's a 5.
Yeah.
Like all other beers can be damned.
This is close.
Like
That's
I'm
why it's a half point
I'm
off.
a diehard Guinness guy, and I still couldn't give Guinness a 5
Yeah.
because there's times where
Because
I
you think
go,
there's a white elephant out there that you haven't had. That's the whole thing.
I think in order for it to get a 5, I would have to, forego all other beers and be fine with that. And even with Guinness, I couldn't do it because there's times that I want something else. I do find myself ordering Guinness though when I don't feel like drinking beer anymore.
Makes sense.
I mean, that's when I'm like, yeah, I'll just have a Guinness. I'm not really drinking tonight. Let me have 6 Guinness.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. Dude, speaking of random beers going down, I was coming home the other night, and I'd love to get your take on this entire world. I was coming home the other night.
The whole world.
I was just what this
this
universe. No, this universe of I'll tell you what I'm.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll just
tell
shut
me.
up. How about that?
So you were coming home from...
So I was coming home from Baltimore. I'd had dinner. I actually went out of my way to go see some work people that I really didn't have to go see. I just wanted to go, have dinner and see these people.
Yeah.
But what it meant is I had to drive home late. And I've been kind of burning the candle on both ends with work lately. And I'm driving home, and it's not super late. Like I left,
What time are we talking about?
I think I left Baltimore probably like 8 o'clock at night. But
Okay.
I'd been up since, really early that day in meetings. I started my day in Pennsylvania, wound my way to Baltimore, was coming home, and I'm driving down the highway, and I started falling asleep.
Ooh.
And usually you can like snap yourself out of that and just be like, hey, dummy, you're starting to fall asleep. Like, wake it up, roll
It's
the window
hard
down.
for me to snap out of that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
If it gets to that point to where I'm dozing, the only thing that will correct for that is I need someone to talk to me.
Yeah, like
if
you'll
we
call
engage-
someone.
Engage
if you
in a
need to.
conversation
Yeah.
will wake me up. Other than that, I mean, the Windows trick and smacking yourself works
That
for a
buys
little
you a
bit.
couple minutes.
Exactly. It doesn't really solve the problem.
I did exactly that. I
Yeah.
rolled the window down, smacked myself a couple times. Started hyping myself up. Like you gotta wake up. You can't do this. That lasted for exactly one exit before I was like,
yeah.
look, asshole, you're not 100% here. This could end poorly.
Right.
I mean, you're doing 75 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like this doesn't end well if you fall asleep.
Right. So speed up.
So yeah, get
I
home.
gotta
sooner.
get home sooner.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I ended up pulling over into a truck stop because I figured there's a truck stop here. Why not?
Yeah.
And I got there, it's probably about 10 something at night by the time I got there. And I completely passed out, right? Like pulled over, parked the car, and that was it. Like I remember cutting the lights off, and 30 minutes later I woke up. I was like, damn.
Damn.
Like, I went
Yeah,
out cold.
Needed that power nap.
So it was the right move because I had to go to sleep. But when I woke
Did you
up,
wake up and do some calisthenics?
no, I went into the truck stop.
Oh, okay.
At least get in there, get the neon lights going,
Yeah, yeah.
wake you up.
Work on the glory hole for a bit.
I did a little work. Yeah.
Get the blood pumping.
That's right. Someone's blood pumping.
Made $10 and hit the road.
Yeah,
$10 is $10.
for
You-
sure. Especially when you're tired.
Bought a coffee, walked out of there with $7 and change. Win-win.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, some
Full
queer,
belly.
some queer stuck his penis in the hole. What a weirdo.
That's fucking nuts. What kind of place you guys running here?
Yeah. Guys, you'll never believe this, but I was positioned on the other side of that hole.
Exactly.
Someone put their penis in there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go. Now,
So when I was done,
I said good day, sir.
I said,
I said, put the money under the stall. And
Yeah.
leave me.
Can you spare a square?
So I know that, like, oftentimes.
So you didn't do that?
No, of course
Oh,
not.
okay.
So you
This
go into truck stops though, and there's a whole universe going on in there.
Oh,
with the-
dude, I've been in
I
some
love
amazing
going in.
truck
I
stops.
love going in.
Love
truck
truck
stops. I don't
stops.
know
Yeah.
why, man. It's like
It's like you open the door and the fucking horn honks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
they sell all sorts of crap
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
that you had no
kinds of
idea you
crap.
needed.
The dopest like headset with
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucking
Oh, my God.
antenna on it.
the
and shit.
headsets they had.
Oh, yeah.
I have this little nerd headset
Yeah.
that I use in the car, and I was like, my headset is so inadequate. Like looking at all these, but I'd never been in there after hours. Like
Yeah.
the whole place was filled with trucks. I mean, slam packed with trucks.
Yeah.
And I'm in there, and I'm like, I like go walking by, and I go, man, they sell a lot of beer in a truck stop, and I'm thinking it's kind of odd. I mean, I guess it's not because every
No.
gas station has it, but I was like, yeah, it's a truck stop.
Truckers are known to be sober guys. That is weird.
Yeah.
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 Well, what I noticed was
Straight
guys.
laced.
Like mostly Bibles, I would think would be
Ish.
sold there.
Yeah, tons of those.
I noticed at that hour of the
Granola.
night, at like 10:30, guys are coming in and buying 22-ounce beers.
Nature valleys everywhere.
Yeah, just 22-ounce beers.
They're all coming in buying 22-ounce beers.
What time was it?
This is about 10:30 at night. And I mean, the place was absolutely packed. Like every spot for a park that a truck could be parked was full.
Full.
Everyone along the road, trucks were lined up along it. And I didn't realize that these turn into a whole hub of activity at night.
Yeah, it's basically a mobile home park.
These guys were going in there.
But I've never seen any like bars or restaurants at these places. I feel like that's a gold mine. Like they could all, instead of having a party in the cab,
Yeah.
they could all just meet at the bar.
Well, that's actually what I was trying to figure out. Like, because these guys are buying 22s and then going back out to the truck. And
Loitering.
I think
Yeah.
the reason you buy them in 22-ounce increments is because you're probably going to have to pee
Yeah.
every couple beers. So at least you can go back in, take a leak, buy another beer.
Yeah.
And it just becomes kind of this.
But you're not making any money on that. Like what Eli's saying, if you had a freaking, diner in there, like,
This one had a Denny's.
okay.
Oh, that's
and it
awesome.
was
That's
packed.
Wrap it up. That's
It was packed with drunk truckers. There was one trucker sitting outside of the Denny's, and the guys were like coming out and clowning him and like making fun of him. He couldn't get up. He was so
What?
drunk.
What? He couldn't get it up?
No, he was fine.
How would you know that? Oh, he was fine?
No, he couldn't get
Oh.
up. So they're
What's going on here?
They're like, get up, man, come on. Like they would get him up, and he'd like stagger around, and then they'd put him back down. There was a whole group of like drunk ass truckers just laughing it up, knowing that their trucks were parked for the night.
Makes sense.
They'd called their family. Now they were just drinking. I didn't realize there was this whole party going on at the truck stops. The Denny's
Kinda
was
makes
packed.
sense.
It makes perfect sense. Like,
Southern slams and Schlitz.
have you guys ever been to a truck stop at night like that? Like
No.
late night?
Well, I mean, like passing through. I've never observed anything. I just ran in and got my nachos and left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I was there for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
That, like, I was sleeping amongst the truckers. I was staggering in with the truckers, and I was kind of
Amongst is a stretch, but I get you.
yeah. It was just I was literally in a suit.
Hey,
and
brothers.
Yeah.
I had my little. rinky-dink-
lung. You over the road too?
Yes.
Nice rig.
What's
you
your
wanna see
20,
mine?
big dog? Come on back to me.
I fit right in.
Yeah.
I was in wingtips and a suit.
Yeah, you were.
And they were all in there in like pajama pants.
You guys listen to Scott Stapleton too?
Yeah.
It's Chris.
You got some Pringles?
Let me know if you need me to get the Pringles out your can. I got little hands.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. I love a
Ricky
good truck
Staples.
stop. And they're like, you hear them over like, "There's no line for showers." Like
Yeah.
over the no line for showers.
They call the numbers.